Hello Taurus, Elsie here to put some energy on the table with a bonus read before we get to the sneak peek. How are you, my bull gang? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. Let's find out what's going on for you, friend. What should we do here? What should we do? Okay, Charlie says a 9-card draw. Let's take a look at the 9-card draw. I won't be clarifying all of it, but I will clarify what I feel needs to be clarified. So let's find out what's going on with you, Taurus. If you have Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter, Taurus signs, this could be for you. Please remember, it is a reading that is general, so will not resonate for everyone. Let's find out what's going on. Taurus, my bull gang. Tell me about Taurus. We have the 3 of Swords. We have the Justice card. And the Tower is in the reverse. Now, isn't that interesting energy, right? We've got the 3 of Swords. So something here that in the past I feel was very disappointing or heartbreaking, Taurus. It feels like you're going to be getting justice in that. Somebody wants to make something right or restore balance between you and them. I feel like it's like hiding in the bush. That's what this feels like. I know, it's silly. I crack myself up in my dining room. The Tower being in the reverse tells me that something's about to change, but it's going to change without notice. So I feel like it is a surprise. I don't feel like anything's falling in. It's not terrifying. I don't think it's a horrible thing, actually. It feels like an apology, or it feels like someone trying to make something right with you to restore balance with you. So it does feel like it was centered around something that was heartbreaking, dismissive, feels like it was something that really disappointed you. It feels like it could be heartbreak. Let's find out what else is going on here. Sorry, I get all silly. That's what you get with the Taurus with the Sag rising. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. We've got the Sun. Well, look at that. Look, the center of the read is the heart of the matter. So I feel like everything hinges on this Sun energy. This could say, yes, this is happening in Leo season, because remember, we're in a bonus read, so there's no timetables here. And so it feels like you're going to realize something. Somebody here wants to make something really clear. I think that the thing that they want to be clear about is that there is an investment here to be made, or they are still holding this pentacle. It feels like this could be a friendship. This could be someone in your family. It feels like someone's willing to put in the time, the effort, or the energy to make things happy again. Tell me more. We've got the Queen of Cups. Somebody's coming here with their tail between their legs. Look, the Queen of Cups isn't somebody who walks up with their tail between their legs, but I'm saying that it feels like somebody's sort of walking up carefully. I would say that someone is being cautiously optimistic that something here is going to turn around, and that this will end up being the happily ever after that they want. Now, that could mean many things to many people. If it's romantic to you, go for it. If it's not, then don't. But it does feel like somebody here who I feel is normally quite deep, kind, loving. It feels like they are feeling as though they hurt you, and they just want to make it right. Now, I feel like the Tower being in the reverse is telling me something's about to change in the future. And I think what's about to change in the future is how you feel about the situation. Because right now, I think you're in the 3 of Swords about something here. It was a disappointing start. It's like you offered what you offered, and then it just didn't work out. It was a disappointing start, Taurus. We've got the Queen of Wands. It may have started in fire, or possibly this was a fiery sort of connection or conversation. It feels like whatever was given as an offer or an opportunity might have fallen into fire. So maybe it was something somebody said quickly, or maybe the way they say it doesn't make you feel good. It feels like it was a bold move, or maybe you made the bold move to give somebody an offering, but it feels as though it didn't work out the way you thought it would. The Ace of Wands is here. It didn't work out the way you thought it would. it does feel like you are either, when the Queen of Wands shows up, it's because somebody who's just going to go for it, because I've been burnt to the ground before. I'm the damn phoenix. I'm made of rubber. I'll bounce. It's fine. I think that you went for it. I think that you probably told somebody, said something face to face. It feels like that it just didn't go anywhere. As fast as it happened, it fizzled out. Let's pull one more card here. The Nine of Swords is here. We've got the Temperance card. Okay. Taurus, it feels like there is going to be somebody who is going to show up here. You know, the Wands tell me it could be text. The Swords tell me it could be phone call. But the Pentacles tell me it could be face-to-face. Take it as it resonates for you. I think the Sun being here at the center of the read is really good news. It feels like those two children are looking up at the Sun. And I feel like it puts light on the subject. Somebody here is realizing something. They might be realizing the depth of something, the depth of the offer that was made. It feels like something happened quick, but I feel like somebody here felt no regard for how quickly it happened because they were sure that they were making the right investment. The Ace of Wands is here in the reverse. I feel like it didn't turn out as happy as you thought it would. It feels like, yeah, something went upside down. You know what I'm seeing in my mind's eye? I'm actually seeing one of those old oak tables in a castle. Look, I think in medieval terms, so just let's go with it because I'm a weirdo. But it feels like there's a what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is a long wooden table in a castle, very dimly lit, and somebody tips it over. It feels like it was all set up. I'm going to say it was all set up. It looks like there was lots of food and wine and drink, and it was all set up. It was like you walk into the room and it looks very different than what's about to happen. It feels like you were pretty darn sure, Taurus, that you don't just walk into something and take a leap because you feel like it's time to take a leap. You really do think it out. And I feel like somebody here has fire energy. Somebody here was either really attracted to you or really attracted to them, or this was an attractive offer, is what it feels like. But it feels like the offer fell flat. Somebody here could be a Leo, could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Sagittarius, Scorpio, could be Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, could be in Leo season. It feels like somebody here is now worried about how you feel about them or about the situation. They know that they've hurt you, but Taurus, you know that you got a poker face, man. You were born with a poker face. And when you get around this person, I feel like you don't let them see it on the surface because you're made of rubber. You bounce, right? You're like, it's okay. I've been burnt to the ground before. I've learned to be the phoenix, and it is what it is. But I feel like because you're showing somebody the stoic face after an upheaval or after the offer fell flat, or it feels like this person is worried about how you feel about the situation. Temperance is here. And that is I'm doing this because it feels like it's all coming together. It feels like this Temperance card is telling me that something is all coming together here. It ends up in the Sun. It ends up either in a great realization, something becomes clear, something becomes happy, it works out as it should, but look, above the Sun, those children are looking at justice. I feel like you have a boundary, Taurus. That's what it feels like. This Queen's carrying a wand. The boundary is this. You're going to actually talk about what you did. I want to hear it in words. I want you to say, I'm sorry I did this, and I'm sorry that I hurt you the way I did. None of this, I'm sorry you feel this way crap. I don't think you're taking that as compensation for whatever grief they caused you here. It feels like there is going to be an integration of everything, past, present, future. It feels like everything's coming together here in this moment, and it feels like somebody does want to make something right. It feels as though they feel that things are off balance or not very much in balance. It could be a Libra. Let's talk about this Tower, though, because it's sort of suspicious that it's sitting there in the reverse, no? That's what it feels like. So how does this happen? What is happening here? Tell us why we're going to experience some sort of revelation, realization. It could be about how you feel about something, but this could be that somebody shows up with an apology It feels like they try and explain themselves, or it feels like really that this person is trying to clear their karma. They know what they've done and they don't want it to be done to them. Somebody here has a realization. I think it's like an internal, intuitive realization of what they've done here. Tell me the Tower, it's in the reverse. Why? Ooh, is it the Emperor, Taurus? Did you get the Emperor to take the knee? Look, that would be something that would happen with an Aquarius moon if I ever heard it. That would be something that's once in a lifetime. With all of these planetary movements as they are, look, I'm not even going to get into it because I'm not your astrologer. Y'all know that, but there's some crazy crap going on right now astrologically. Tell me about the Emperor. 10 of Pentacles. What? And the 2 of Cups. All right, let me think. Let me feel this out for a second. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other way to say it. I'm just going to say that there is somebody here who usually makes unilateral decisions. The Emperor isn't somebody who dates. You're never going to find an Emperor on the apps. I'm sorry to tell you, those of you who are looking for one, you're never going to find him there. The Emperor doesn't have time, energy, effort. This person's life is really busy. They're carrying a lot. They could be somebody who is just super busy, carries a lot on their shoulders, but they are running their own empire. So they could be a single father, single parent, a single mother, right? A single mother is usually in their masculine energy because they got to do so many things for the feminine and the masculine side of themselves. It does feel like somebody here has made a decision, I'm going to say, because the Emperor does not cha-cha, doesn't go back and forth, doesn't go over the line and back and over the line and back. Somebody here has made a decision, and I think it has to do with the 10 of Pentacles. So it feels as though something is about to shock you or surprise you, something that you're not expecting. Is that the Emperor is going to say, look, I see the value in the situation, and I think it is a long-term one. It feels like somebody sees all of your worth all at once in a moment, because the Tower is about to turn into the upright. I feel like when this Tower turns into the upright, it shakes down the Emperor and makes them realize that, look, you got to face this, because the 10 of Pentacles is here, and so is the 2 of Cups. I feel like this person, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like the Emperor is a very practical person, and I feel like the fact that the 10 of Cups didn't show up and the 10 of Pentacles did tells me that somebody here feels that there is a very practical long-term friendship, a very practical long-term partnership, business-ship, or romance-ship. It feels like this person sees the worth in deepening a bond with you. This isn't run off into the sunset, fall in love stuff. This is, I feel like I could probably let you into my life and we could get to know each other a little more. Maybe we can do a little bonding and share some intimate secrets, right? Like, the intimacy isn't what goes on between the sheets. It actually is very practical intimacy that we're talking about here. This person wants to get to know you, sit and talk with you, eat snacks and watch TV with you. Like, this person really wants to spend time, effort, energy. And honestly, when we're talking about an Emperor, that person has all those things in short supply. So they are choosing, I feel, to give those things to you. Oh boy, what's going on here? Tell me about the Justice card. Jeez, I didn't expect to be hit with it right away for you. We've got the Page of Swords. So there's somebody here who has been possibly observing you, but also this could be an indication of somebody who's about to change their mind but isn't very used to it, because this is curiosity. This is the curious student. This is someone who's new at changing their mind, and somebody who might be new at apologizing, somebody who's really new at taking responsibility for the things they said or did. It feels like this person feels as though there is a restorative energy. It feels like somebody is trying to put together the pieces. If what they really do want is the 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, then they're really going to have to make a decision that they don't want to make. Honestly, I don't think this person wants to make this decision, but the fact that you have boundaries and you're not letting them off the hook, I think that's all in your favor, my friend, because they see how kind and compassionate and loving you are, and you still are probably looking them in the face, shaking their hands, saying hello in a group of people. I don't think that you're letting them know that they got you at all. We've got I can't with the tarot stuff. You've got the stoic face, man. That's what's going on. I feel like you're trying to beat the King of Cups at their own game. And I feel like the King of Cups doesn't realize how freaking stoic Taurus can be. This is Scorpio energy, Pisces, Cancer, of course, because we are in a general reading. Scorpio energy, right? Stoicism. I'm not going to give you any indication on the surface that you even bothered me at all. Meanwhile, 3 swords, right? And I feel like this person, you're confusing them. They feel quite confused about the way that you're reacting to the whole thing. Because I feel like although they really did hurt you, it does feel like it was deeply emotional. I feel like this person feels as though they need to... I'm going to say that your stoicism has met the king where they are. This person is used to somebody sort of folding, like a house of cards, and you are not doing that. You're like, that's okay. I'll meet you where you're at. You're good. Yep, very detached. So, I feel like y'all, both of you, I think you're both acting this way with each other. Very detached. I don't need it. The full moon is here. Look, I can't even. The full moon is today. Aquarius full moon. It feels the King of Cups here has been keeping the fact that they're really thinking about coming forward to restore the balance between you and them. They're keeping it to themselves because the Emperor never lets on to anybody what the plan is. They make unilateral decisions for their empire and they don't ask anybody about what they're doing. They never let on. That's why this person's got a poker face. But I think they met the ultimate poker face. So I think it's bothering them because I feel like there was like this passion or this moment of let's take a leap, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And now this person is worried. Maybe they didn't pursue you after that. Maybe they didn't pursue you for the friendship. Maybe they didn't pursue you for the loveship. Maybe they didn't pursue you to get a little bit deeper. Maybe this emperor is used to having people fall at their feet and they just met their match. That's what it feels like here. So whether you are the feminine or the masculine, I feel like it feels like the Emperor has met their match. Tell me about the Ace of Pentacles. What was this offer? It was an offer of a commitment. It feels like a happy commitment, and I feel somebody let it go. Now, I don't think that this was a verbal commitment, if I'm being honest, because, well, maybe it was. It could be verbal because the Knight is here, but the Ten of Swords tells me that this was a clear offer. But it may have been made in the throes of passion or in a moment of excitement. It doesn't have to be between the sheets. It could have been like, gosh, could you imagine if we ever got together, we could probably rule the world, or we could do world domination together. It might have been something like that. It feels playful, Sagittarian energy, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. It feels like it was said in a playful way, but nobody ever acted on it. Nobody ever reacted. I feel like you did whatever you could to let this person know that you were ready to make a bold move. And I feel the bold move might have happened, but I feel like nobody ever pursued it. This person is used to people pursuing them, and you said, no, I'm worth more than that. The Hierophant is here. You stood your ground, is what you did. You stood your ground. You stood on business with the Nine of Cups, and you said, you know what? I'm happy on the inside. I'm happy on the outside. I do not need external validation, nonetheless from an emperor. I don't care who it's from. I don't need the external validation, and I think that when this came to an end, you just let it go. You're like, okay, well, it was only a pentacle. It wasn't like it was 10. It only cost me $1. Maybe it feels like it was a pentacle that I feel like you were willing to spend. It almost feels like the price of... Look, you may go to the fair, the county fair, and you may have the deep fried butter, and it may be the worst thing you ever had. You might lose a few bucks buying it, but you're like, lesson learned, right? It doesn't feel like this was a whirlwind love affair. This feels like, I thought we were on the same page. And when the person did not come forward and pursue you, you were like, well, all right, tell me why the sun's here. We've got the Ten of Cups. We got the Seven of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. You're like, okay, so what are you doing? What are you doing? It feels like a waiting process for the Ten of Cups. The sun is here, and you're happy. And this person, I think, is observing you being happy, being in your Nine of Pentacles energy, confident, beautiful, handsome, looking good, maybe, being a little flirtatious with people. It feels like this person can't stand it. Because the Emperor doesn't ever get turned down. They're used to people falling at their feet because they're successful. They might be an entrepreneur. They probably are a person who a lot of people try and a lot of people are attracted to. And I think you're like, no, nope, I don't need it. Your confidence exceeds that of what the emperor. I think the emperor undersold you. I don't think that the emperor realized the stability, the confidence. I don't really need your money. I don't need your time. I don't need your efforts. I don't need your energy. I'm here if you want it, but look, I can take care of myself. The Seven of Pentacles is here. So it feels like we are, I always say, like there's two cowboys outside the Dusty Saloon and we're waiting for somebody to draw. We're in this place where I'm not making a move. So if you don't make a move, you're just going to give up the 10 Pentacles or 7 Pentacles. You're just going to give up the 10 Cups. That's all. So I'll wait you out. Like, don't ever wait out a Taurus. Look, if you ever tried to, it's that whole scenario of being in the car park, right? Being in the parking lot. A Taurus will wait you out till you're dead. If you're waiting for their parking spot, they will wait. Don't even honk, because they will wait you out till you're dead. Until you're dead. All right. So tell me, what's the biggest worry? Because I feel like somebody here has a big worry that you no longer have the deep feelings. We do have the King and the Queen here. I feel like you two are a good match. Psychically, intuitively, maybe you each have like Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy within your charts. And it feels like it might be moon energy or sun energy. It feels like it really matches really well. But y'all know that if it's a Scorpio, right? This is why we've got two people head to head. If we're talking about Taurus and Scorpio, if we're talking about Taurus and Cancer, right? It feels like we got two people who are kind of stuck in their ways, waiting for the other one to make a move. Tell me why the Nine of Swords is here. That's why. Because somebody is now ready to take a leap of faith. But now they're feeling a little defensive about it because you didn't chase. Now they're sort of, okay, but what's going on? But what if I get rejected now? Now that I finally see the worth of Taurus, what if I get rejected? I feel like this person doesn't want to be rejected, but they know that they have to come forward and take an emotional leap of faith. This person knows they have to stand up for themselves. They have to like wave their arms in the air in order for you to even look their way. Because look, you're not even looking their way. You don't care. I feel like you're good. So I feel like there was something that somebody did or said that I feel maybe hurt your feelings, but I also feel like you don't give a damn. I think you've been on this precipice before and you're not chasing a damn thing. Tell me what happens when the Tower goes upright. We've got the Eight of Swords, Five of Wands. There it is. There's the Judgment card. I was like, Eight of Swords, Five of Wands. This person is coming forward. Look, I'm telling you, you got this Emperor to take a knee, whoever they are, a feminine or a masculine, someone who usually is used to being pursued and pushing people away and saying no thank you, but you're the one that didn't. It feels like the Five of Wands. Now this Emperor has to say to themselves, is there somebody else? Like, am I competing for Taurus? This is pre-Empress energy. Everyone's competing for the Empress. It feels like with this Judgment card here that it is something that this person knows they got to give a shot at. Something's coming back around. I feel like they're stuck in their head. I feel like that's all they've been thinking about. How do I approach Taurus? How do I make things right? How this person's acting really detached from me. They're not giving me any of their energy on the surface. I think they expected you to be mopey, maybe sad, mopey, but I don't think you are. I think the Judgment card is up to them. The universe is calling them and saying, look, if you want to go back around, you can, but there might be competition. So figure it out, friend. I think you're just going to be quiet. I think you're going to be silent. I think that you are a bit sad that this person never did pursue, but there's no damn way that you're going to pursue. The Strength card is here. You know your worth. You know your strength. Ten of Wands. It might even be weighing a little heavy on you and you don't know what's going to happen because the Moon card is here. It might even be a little bit obsessive. But I feel like this person feels like they have this connection or attachment in the Six of Cups. They can't stop thinking about you. It's obsessive thoughts, right? Over and over and over again. I think they're going to work out a plan. So I guess we'll find out what's going on. You can tell me what's going on, Taurus. I'm going to leave this here for now. Thank you for coming and looking in on this bonus. Thank you for your hypes. Thank you for the way that you have been giving me thumbs up. It all happens to bounce it off the algorithm and bring other Tauruses running. Thank you so much. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back, Taurus. You know I am. Take care. Bye-bye.